WNST's post-draft coverage is brought to you by Corona Extra, miles beyond ordinary.
Maybe draftable in October to be the number 18 pick in the whole draft. I mean, as a fan looking at it on the outside, it seems a little risky, seems a little scary. I mean, I have full confidence in what you guys do, and that if you're going to take a 1AA kid in the first round, pick number 18, you're not 90% sure, you're 100% sure. But how does a guy like that fall through the cracks? And the value that you put on him to move up into 18, I just don't understand the moving up that you couldn't have gotten him at 26. I understand your trepidation that you might lose him, but what led you to believe that you might lose him over those 8 picks? That somebody else would take a 1AA quarterback and love him as much as you did. You fell in love with him because you were at the Towson game, you were at the Navy game, you had a personal thing having seen him. Did other teams love him the way you loved him? Because it's certainly the talking heads didn't love him to that degree. They put him in that range with Henny and with Brom and the other guys that were clearly going to be guys that were going to fall into the 40s or 50s. Sort of, kind of.
You know, I've learned over the years that the talking heads really don't know what they're talking about. And that's just the reality of the situation. We watch the tape. I've never seen Chris Berman watch tape. I don't know if he does. He might. I don't know if he does. I know Ron Jaworski does watch tape. I respect him. But in general,
I know one thing. You watch more than any of those kids.
Well, the thing about it is you've got to have a conviction. And whatever you do, whether you're a banker or whatever you do in your job, you've got to go with your instincts and you've got to have conviction. And we spent a lot of time around Joe Flacco. And quite honestly, when we made that trade with Jacksonville to go back to 26, there was elation in our room. We got a lot of picks. We were very, very excited. I'm in the pick business. You know, I go back to Branch Rickey, the general manager of the Dodgers in the 20s and 30s. Quality out of quantity. You have as many picks as you can, and you're going to have some quality players that come out of that mix, and that's my formula for success in the draft. But I'll tell you, the idea that we would go back to 26 and not get Joe Flacco, to me, was sickening, because we had a coach in the building, Cam Cameron, who's developed a lot of really good quarterbacks in the NFL. And he thinks that Joe Flacco is going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. And the idea that he would go back to 26 and miss out on the opportunity to draft a Pro Bowl quarterback. And I'm not talking about a quarterback like Chad Henne or Brian Brom, 2 guys I think will be good. I'm talking about a quarterback that has special abilities as a passer. The idea of missing him, going back to 26 and missing him, to me was sickening. And we didn't want to do that. We had a lot of extra picks. We also felt that we could do what we've done the last couple of years, which is trade our second round pick, go back in the second round, and recoup those picks. And we knew we could do that. We felt that to go up and get him was the wise thing to do. We knew that there were teams that were looking for quarterbacks. You never know how the other teams feel about quarterbacks. Just because, I think it's a dangerous assumption to think that because Chad Henne and Chad Henne and Brian Brom fall to the bottom of the second round, that Joe Flacco's going to fall to the second round. That's thinking in a vacuum. That's living in a vacuum.
Did you know another team loved him? Do you know that?
I don't know that, no.
But you think that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I didn't really care because we had a conviction about the player. I watched the tape. I don't really care what somebody else is going to tell me about Joe Flacco. I watched Joe Flacco, and I'm going to go with what I think. And in the end, as I said, the notion that we would go back to 26 and have to play with Brian Brom, to me, is a lot less appealing than having the chance to take the Pro Bowl quarterback that we think Joe Flacco can become.
Eric DeCosta is with us. We're out of Delaware. Cincinnati. It's all brought to you by Corona Life. It's our post-draft show. Also brought to you by ToyotaLiveWeb.com, Susquehanna Bank, and our friend Brooke Boyle at USA Home Loans. I want to give a shout-out Brad Jackson. We have a Super Bowl champion here with us tonight. Brad's going to come up, fire some questions at Eric before it's over with. And all of the random weird noise you may be hearing, either on the videotape or the audio tape, it's that the Orioles are an extra innings out in Chicago, and it's tight, man. It's 3-3. Oriole Magic alive out of Comiskey Park. We're back for more Draft Talk DeCosta, 13 years in a row.